What's happening, everyone? I'm gonna do the intro now.
Oh, go for it.
What's happening, everyone? All you mega strangers out there, you're about to become friends because we're taking calls. What? Did you not like that?
No, you're doing perfect.
Oh,
you're
awesome.
killing it. You're better than me. I mean, you're a natural.
My
I think I have a protege to carry on the legacy after I'm dead and gone and haunting all of our viewers.
I'll take over the Mega Strange legacy.
Yeah, and you'll do it well. And you'll probably get like a hot, sexy host to replace me.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll make her your wife.
Yeah.
You'll probably propose on camera. You'll get engaged. You'll get married on camera. You'll fight on camera. You'll get divorced on camera.
I'll have to post a long Facebook post about how we're no longer together.
Yes, and then people will accuse you of gaslighting her on camera, mentally abusing her. You'll get canceled on camera.
Yeah, on camera.
Yeah, live canceling.
I'm sitting there, I'm like,
you get
oh,
the tweet.
fuck.
You're like, oh no, I'm canceled. You'll do an episode where you go and buy the tools to eventually kill yourself on camera.
It went dark. I'll Bud Dwyer this shit.
We don't need to go there.
Oh.
Anyways, welcome everybody to today's very special, small, mini bite-sized episode of Mega Strange. We're taking calls today. If you have any, paranormal experiences or strange stories you want to share with us, call up our hotline and leave a short message about what happened to you, and we'll try to share the best stories on our show.
Yeah, please keep them brief. A lot of you have, which is great, so we appreciate that.
Let's get into it with our first call.
Okay, here we go.
Hey guys, I'll make this quick. I engaged in a little bit of satanic magic where I summoned a demon to rip a person to shreds. The next day they were at work when their finger got stuck in something and they ended up tearing part of their finger off. They said they puked in front of their boss from the pain and had to be taken to the hospital. Oh, and by the way, they work at a toddler daycare. Interesting coincidence, eh? Love the show. Keep it up.
Are there other types of daycares besides toddler daycares?
By the way, that ain't no coincidence.
Yeah.
You summoned a demon and the demon paid off in full. You traumatized those children. If I was a toddler and I saw my caregiver have their finger ripped from their limb, and they're like, and they barf all over because of their finger, I would be scarred for life. I'd have little kid PTSD, LK PTSD.
Little kid PTSD. I love that.
Interesting. So we've talked about all kinds of demonic stuff on this show, and it always seems that when you mess around with demons, whether you're making a movie or actually summoning them through some dark satanic magic ritual, they show up and they cause damage. This is, it reminds me of a story I heard about one of my favorite bands, Megadeth.
Oh, okay.
Dave Mustaine from Megadeth, formerly of Metallica before he was kicked out and started his own metal band, Megadeth, is a born-again Christian as of today. And in fact, Dave Mustaine is from the town that we're in right now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's from La Mesa, California.
That makes so much sense.
He currently lives in San Diego.
Whoa.
Sometimes you'll see Dave Mustaine appearing on the local news, and people don't even recognize it's the frontman from Megadeth. Anyways, I heard a story that Dave Mustaine used to practice satanic magic, but stopped because he started seeing that the people that he was casting spells on were having bad things happen to them, and he felt extremely guilty. So much so that he became a born-again Christian. And he, in an interview, said, I won't perform the song The Conjuring off of, I think it's Peace Cells, off of one of his early albums, because he says there's actual black magic in the lyrics of that song. And he says, we talk about eyelash of the cat or whisker of the cat, and this and that, like little things that could be used in some satanic magic.
Hey, I'll look past his anti-vax sentiment if he wants to come on the show and talk about how that song is a portal to the occult or whatever.
Maybe. And maybe we can get Dave in contact with our Mega Stranger here. They could swap stories.
Dude.
That's an interesting story. Don't play around.
Yeah.
F around and find out.
This person didn't really state why they summoned a demon. Was like Were the toddlers pissing them off, or the coworker pissing them
Well,
off?
I mean, I want to assume they had a
Yeah.
lot of anger geared towards this person whose finger they decimated.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. Thanks for the call,
Thank you.
caller. On to the next one.
I was about 9 or 10 years old. It was the summer at my neighbor's house. We were up late playing video games. Finally went to bed. It was probably a little after 11:30. We were up talking to each other. I think we were probably talking about sports or video games or something. And then all of a sudden I noticed my friends were sleeping. I'm like, we were just talking. How could that happen? And then I look at the clock. It's 4:30 in the morning. I have some missing time. I have no idea what happened. I can't explain it. And no one believes me.
Okay.
The saddest part is that at the end of the story, he just ends it with, and no one believes me.
Yeah.
Click. Well, I believe you.
I believe you.
I believe you, mysterious caller, even though you didn't say your name. That's
Yeah.
okay. You want to remain anonymous. So that call was a little quiet. If people
Yeah.
at home couldn't make out the story.
I'll make sure it's loud for them.
He was hanging out with his friends. They were young. It was 11:30 at night. They're talking about
love.
video games and sports and stuff. And then boom, everyone's asleep. What the heck? And he looks at the clock and it's 4:30 in the morning. He had suddenly lost 5 hours.
Oh, he said everyone fell asleep? I thought they were just talking and they looked over and
And they were sleeping.
oh shit.
And it was 5 hours later suddenly.
Dude.
And he has no recollection of what happened in the intervening time.
Yo, he disassociated hard. That's scary.
I have heard stories of, this reminds me of alien abduction.
yeah.
That they will take you out and put you back and delete your memories, and then you're just boom, right back where you were. Also, I had a friend who suffered a stroke.
Ooh.
This was a terrible. In fact, we talked about this on the Mega 64 podcast because he was a friend of ours. We plugged his GoFundMe.
Yeah.
He's doing okay now. He had. I won't get into it because it's really scary, but he had a medical operation, and as a result of that operation, there was a side effect, a malfunction, or something went wrong, and he ended up having a stroke a little while later. And when he recovered from the stroke, he said that he could not recall the past 2 years of his life. They were just gone. And this person had acted in Mega 64 stuff, no recollection of it. This person had a big crush on a friend of mine, and I had introduced the two of them and kind of got the ball rolling. And I'll be honest, I'll talk about it. They fucked. They did.
Yeah.
And he has no recollection of that happening, which to me was like, oh, you were so happy back then, and now you don't even remember.
I love you told me. I mean, this isn't too personal. It's on the same line as that. Is you told me that you had told this person that they had had sex with that other person, and he was like, "What? I did?" Like he got really upset. Like,
yeah, because we were having a conversation, and I was just, "Do you remember this?"
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that. Okay. Do you remember this? No, I don't remember that. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, do I bring up the girl?
yeah,
Do I bring her up? It's. I mean, it's not my place, but you know what? I mean, I want to know. I want to know if, on an emotional level, if it breaks through. And no recollection. Which
that sucks.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, anybody out there, if you've ever had
Sex.
I was going to say kind of a flash in the pan romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Not a super strong, boyfriend, girlfriend you're dating, but one night of passion. And then that memory is taken from you and it's as if it never happened.
That's the plot to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Well, they dated, but they chose to do it. But
Yeah.
and I feel like the scariest part about losing 2 years of your life is that everybody else remembers, and they bring up like, oh yeah, last time I saw you, we were doing this. No recollection of that. Oh yeah, oh we hooked up. Yeah, you remember? And no recollection. It's got to be so scary to have a part of your timeline deleted, and people keep bringing it up, and you're like, damn, like. I guess it's just you have to accept your fate at that point. What are you going to do?
Yeah, like you see movies like The Bourne Identity where like that happens, but in actuality it's probably really scary to just like not have any recollection of your life.
My friend, I can't speak to whether he was scared or not, but he definitely seemed a little frail
Yeah.
in the sense of like he would talk to people and not know. I mean, imagine you talk to people, you don't know if they hate you. You don't know if you are close to them. You don't know if you guys ended on good terms, bad terms. You're meeting a stranger, but you're not a stranger to them.
Yeah.
You know, that's got to be very uncomfortable and kind of scary. Anyways,
Befriend your worst enemy accidentally.
maybe this is their chance to get their sweet revenge on you. The
exactly.
long con. All right, we appreciate that call. Let's
thank you.
move on to the next one.
Yeah, I'll try to tell this as quick as I can.
Thank you.
Me and my buddies, we decided one time to go ghost hunting in a local park because there was kind of a legend of this kid drowning in this like giant drainage tent that dog would start playing with her toy right now, wouldn't she?
Oh, I thought it was like a
There's
haunted
this
clown in the
giant
background.
drainage pipe that like this kid supposedly drowned in during this one winter. And so we're doing like voice recordings and taking pictures around it and trying to, all the basic high school kids with cell phones trying to
Stir up
ghost
the
hunt,
ghost.
Yeah.
But one of my buddies, he started taking a series of pictures, and I think it's like 13 pictures in a row he takes or something like that
Damn.
of the pipe.
Evil number.
And there's this not brown, it was like a purplish shape. And the shape starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and we thought it was probably just some kind of lens flare or something. But at about picture 10, it clearly forms into what would be the shape of a small child standing in front of the drain pipe. And it's there for the last 3 pictures. And we all promptly peed ourselves because it scared the living crap out of us. And we got the hell out of there. And the next day we're like, all right, we need to look over those photos again just to make sure that, in a proper headspace, everything is fine, like there really was something in those pictures. And his memory card on the phone corrupted. The hard drive on the voice recorder I had or not hard drive, but whatever the memory chip in it was, just decided to never work again. And so we're pretty sure a ghost blew up everything that we had that night. Anyway, guys, I love the show. I figured I'll call in with one of my spooky stories. I'm sure I'll call in with more that I remember. You guys have a good one.
All right. That was a good call.
Yeah.
So him and his friends went ghost hunting when they were in high school, and they actually got photo evidence of a ghost, supposedly. Purple orbs coming together to form the shape of a small child who had apparently died at that location.
Yeah.
And they were doing, what do they call it? Audio recordings? What do
Field
they call
recording.
it? The white noise?
Yeah.
Or the, what do they call that? Like EVP or something? Or
I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure what it's.
trying to get ghosts
Yeah.
on tape. What's interesting about this story is the ghost corrupted the electronics, which we've talked about in the past.
Yeah, that happened last week as well with someone else's story.
But it corrupted 2 different electronics. It corrupted the memory card on the camera, and it
Yeah.
corrupted his phone recording.
Shit.
What are the odds that 2 different devices will fail when they are trying to capture the same area?
There must have been some like
Statistically,
impossible.
1 in a million,
Yeah.
1 in a billion. Very unlikely. I think that may have been the work of a ghost.
Or some deep radiation.
Yeah, you're either haunted by a ghost or you have a tumor growing inside
Yeah.
of you. One or the other. It's interesting because a lot of people say they're not going to believe in ghosts until they see some physical evidence.
Yeah.
But the ghosts are aware of that and they're destroying the evidence to cover their trail. So it's wild.
Yeah, I don't how that I generally got scared at that story. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. We have one more call to get to.
Sure.
Let's hop into it right now.
Let's do it.
The house I lived in when I was a kid was super haunted. My family was talking about it at a family reunion. Over the years of us living there, we all had fucked up nightmares, scary noises, and it turned out a little kid hung himself in the stairwell, and that's where
Another little
a
kid.
bunch of our dreams took place, and the room he lived in was the most haunted. And we all have a bunch of stories about that. So hopefully that creeps you guys out. Thanks for the show. Bye.
That is creepy.
Yeah.
So they lived in a house where a small child had committed suicide.
Yeah.
And they said the child's bedroom was the most haunted part of the house. Didn't go into the details, but everyone in the house had similar dreams, and the dreams would take place in the hallway that the child died in. To me, that is the creepiest part of this story. You remember when we talked about the Boleskine house where Aleister Crowley summoned hundreds of demons and was never able to seal them away? The BBC crew that went to do a documentary on that house claimed to have overlapping nightmares, dreams where they were all in the same place.
I don't like that.
That must be some dark energy stuff. I feel like that's next level haunting. If some sort of entity, if this is true and real, some sort of entity can pull all of you in. It's almost like Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
Where they could lucid dream and pull the other dreamers into their dream to fight Freddy Krueger. Maybe that's what they need to do to this little kid ghost.
Yeah, they need to kick his ass.
They need to kick his ass Freddy Krueger style.
Yeah.
To that viewer, I recommend you review Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors to kind of get a field guide and an operational strategy on how to handle the haunting in the house that you no longer live in. Maybe you need to go back there and save the current residences from this evil, malignant child ghost. That was a creepy story.
That was creepy.
Those last two stories legitimately gave me goosebumps.
Me too.
In a good way. It's October. It's Halloween season. I want to hear these creepy stories. So a big thank you to everyone who called in to our hotline and told us some of their spook stories for the Halloween season.
Yeah.
That is going to bring us to the end of this little mini episode of Mega Strange. Subscribe, turn on notifications, share this episode with anybody who you think would enjoy it, and follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram at Mega Strange Podcast. We'll see you there.
Yeah. I'll put the number on screen here. Please call in. Make sure it's brief. Make sure it's creepy like the last two.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you later.
See ya.